Thanks for staying with us. The MK party has expelled two members of parliament, Dr. Khanyisile Litchfield-Tshabalala and Pumlani Kubukeli, from the party with immediate effect. It says the decision to expel the two follows a series of acts and conduct which have been detrimental to the good name, reputation, integrity and interests of the MKP. It says they have undermined the party's unity and organizational discipline. The party says it has written to National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza to initiate processes to remove them from Parliament. All right, let's speak now to Dr. Khanyisile Litchfield-Tshabalala, who is joining us on this very story. Good evening to you, Doctor, and thank you so much for your time. So, you've been accused of this particular conduct, and I'm going to get to it in just a moment, where, they talk about this series of acts which they say, have been detrimental to the good name, the reputation, as well as the integrity and the interests of the party. Perhaps I just start firstly with how you are reacting to the news of your expulsion.
Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know how I feel, except to say that you are quoting a series and that's not your words, it's their words. I don't know what the series of actions are, but I can tell you that maybe they are referring to two instances. One was with the institute. I was grafted into the institute by Uvusi Manana, a former comrade from Exile Flint, who was in consultation with President Zuma. And even when Uvusi came to me to say the institute needs to be formed and we've identified you and several other people, I asked him, does the president know? He said, yes. I said, well, I'll feel better if I hear this from the president. And truly, Uvusi Manana did take me to the presence of President Zuma and articulated the problem. What for 18 months, check institute to salvage the problems and the issues that are in MKP right now. I've identified people now, so I'm grafted in. I don't know how it can bring disrepute to Umkhonto weSizwe when the president himself is aware. The second incident has to do with almost the same thing. The SPT, Strategic Presidential Team. Again, I'm drafted in. I'm called by the General Manager, Uzandi Makhathini, at the 11th hour, actually. It was almost midnight on a Sunday, in meeting yakho nizoba Monday. And she says, awuphenduli kudala sikufuna, ngiyamangala ukuthi amasotsha ayafuna uncamalala, but wena awuphenduli ngeke uattend. And even my initial reaction was, sifunelwani? She was like, you need to come to the meeting for you to know. I was so irritated, to be honest. I came late to that meeting on a Monday. Mangfika, President, was doing opening remarks. He articulated all the problems including the financial, that he articulated in the voter register that we had only had one by then. The last voter registration weekend, into Z were naked, our tables were naked, people didn't have t-shirts, people didn't have banners. I like this part. Ngabuza. I was the first person Paramsisand. Ngathi mina usiconvenwe la as abobani. Who are we? Ngoba mina I've journeyed with you on this institute. Afika ma national officials waspiga. Now, what's going to stop you to speak? Usibizela as solution people. But again, as what? Who are we? Tell us, how can I trust that in this instance? Angeka national, and I use the exact words, angeka national officials afike kuwe speaker. And the answer was no, this time is different. Ama national officials uzowabiza awatshele the decision. And he did. We met with him the whole day on Monday, the whole day on Tuesday. That Wednesday, he called them into a meeting. Now, how are you bringing any party into disrepute when a president is sitting with you as a team for 2 days? On the third day, ababize athi ngihlangene nalamasotsha na into esiyidecidile. Azange kuphele lapho. The weekend at Birchwood, where MKP was meeting, wahlangana nathi nama officials that whole Saturday, waphinda Sunday that half day, waphinda that following day, Monday. So these are not meetings that were held in secret. You are sitting in those meetings, giving opening and closing remarks. So I don't know. I think, I don't know how to feel. It's because am I shocked? Am I what? I'm just waiting to be told Imapilauma series of actions that have brought MK Party into disrepute. Perhaps a third thing could be that in that weekend at Birchwood, I pressed to SG ngimbuza ukuthi ngoba I'm the deputy chairperson, Lucky Montana is the chairperson in the ad hoc policy committee. How did you pay monies at Birchwood committing an MK policy conference when the process esipresente kuwe futhi sikhethwe uSG sakunika roadmap ukuthi before kuba ne conference mele sipresent ama policy to the officials, mele aphume from the officials ayo presentwa to the members abuye then go to conference. The only thing is I pressed him ukuthi ni ubhadale njani eBirchwood before that whole process, because we hadn't even presented to you and that date even come and went, and then as a by the way it came out good, no, we lost $500,000 there because the date zangigcine or whatever, and then angazi kwabuyiswa malini. So it is the only thing that I know I have pressed the Secretary General on. So if these three incidences are what is bringing disrepute, then I don't know what is disrepute.
So if you are in the dark, what were you told are the reasons for this decision?
Nothing. I was just told in the letter, the disrepute, le oishoyo, and that it's a presidential decree, which also is not in the constitution. The president in the constitution cannot take a unilateral decision to expel. He can take a unilateral decision, as a matter of fact, opposite, to forgive. After a disciplinary process has happened, I was not asked anything. Lento lengikhulumayo, I think abanye abantu bomkhonto imajority abo can be for the first time today, because after the SPT was disbanded, when officials went back to Ungamalala and were disbanded, they were the ones talking. They were the ones having their minions attack us on social media and dress us naked. We decided to say nothing as disciplined members. So this is the only chance I have to explain myself, as even manje angithanga mina SABC ngicela uku-explain yini enizeki mina athi hayibo umhlolo now siyawuzwa uthini. So no, I have not been told anything, no disciplinary process. I was not asked how I became part of SPT. I have never been asked anything.
So when it comes into you getting this particular letter, I'm
glad you are responding that way. I mean, insambatheka ngesizulu asho njalo amazulu.
I must say
that you cannot explain.
Yeah, I must say we need to speak to the party, because there's a lot that appears to be confusing listening to what you're saying. So let's perhaps then speak about the fact that you're getting this letter. It says all the things that it says you are confused. Did you call anybody to try and get clarity?
No, I mean, my sister, I'm a member of parliament. You are going to write me a letter and tell you are expelling me on that day and write a letter to the speaker and then subsequently inform the media. You have not called me in front of any disciplinary process. Why should I be the one to call you? The onus is not upon me to call you. You need to follow the right channels. Treat me at least as an adult. You are saying I'm bringing the party into disrepute. My credibility is being brought into disrepute here.
I have to ask you this question. We've seen a lot of developments within the MK party. You speak about the institute, you speak about, these particular developments, but also at the same time, we've seen, people being removed and, moved from different, positions, and the changes that have gone. And this has led to some talking about the instability within this particular organization. You were in it. What exactly is going on in your view?
Yabona ngoba umkhonto ngiyawuthanda ene umkhonto sisafuna ukuthi uwine. It's kind of hard for me to wash the dirty linen of umkhonto in public. I refuse to do to MK what these officials have done to my reputation. Angifuna ukuyisho lento oyibuzayo, but it is concerning vele ngoba akakwazi uNxamalala ukuthi on a Saturday ahlale ku media briefing announce institute aze athi mecede ukuyifunda uNhlamulo athi nazo ke nizwile usho kuma journalist, and then 2 days after yena futhi aphinda ahlale in a media briefing with officials athi ngiyayidisbanda ngiyazi. Akakwazi ukuhlala nathi, I'm counting 6 days in a meeting, morning to almost evening, articulating the problems. Athwala izandla enhloko athi angiyazi imali yomkhonto ukuthi yaphi. Athi ngiyanifoma nina SPT. Ayisayini i-decree. Nayibona leya decree SABC. Uyiminute every page. Ebese in 2 days aphinda ahlala athi ngiyayidisbanda. Akazanga kithi akakhulumanga nathi akashongo lutho. So insambatheka. It's really insambatheka nje.
I have to ask, why do you think
I think there's actually a third thing that should come out. So general manager uZandi Makhatini mesho yena ngithi mina was not in that meeting, so ngizothi mesho yena to the SPT mandate uNxamalala to do a forensic investigation of our accounts. I have not seen that report. Angifunanga kuyibona ngoba it has got nothing to do with me. Utaskwe as general manager uNxamalala. Even when kuthiwe ipresente a meeting in the SPT, yimo wathi no, not in front of everybody. Bazosha abantu be-SPT ngathi it's a matter between uNxamalala, ama officials, and where this forensic a report should go.
I know you say
Honorable Kubukeli now has got his own financial, he became the chair of SPT. He has got his own financial financial mismanagement. I'll use a better word, a respecting word. Ayitholile. So ngiyazi ukuthi bobabili bavula ama case. Angiwazi ukuthi athina avulwephi. I don't know how I'm associated with that. Boy two bangawaphendula lawo ma case bona bayawazi.
Just two last questions very briefly. The first one is, you speak about the president of the party and his knowledge of the institute, and it's not, these are not new, revelations, etc., as we've seen in the public domain. But one would ask, what do you think is behind him sitting with you in this meeting, this first one, then saying, I don't know this, we're dissolving, then again, sitting again, and then you find yourselves in public with something completely different being shared? Kwenzakalani?
Uyazi ngizobe ngiyaspeculator. I think kungakuhle makayena engaziphendulela ukuthi kusuke sekwenzekeni, what happens, yini lefike inqamule, uyabona, ngoba mina if ngiyamphendulela ngizobe ngiyaspeculator, akazange akaphinda sibize as institute as address ukuthi yini ngindisbandile, wasdisbanda nje ku media.
Okay.
Akazange aphinda sibize njengoba si-SPT athi ngiyandisbanda, sidisbandwe nje ekhona ngama officials. So it would be hard for me to speculate on his behalf and say kusuke kutheni. I suppose another thing engayibala engicishe ngayikhohlwa is this series of I'm bringing MK into disrepute. Into kaDuduzile, I mean, I understand. I'm in the Pan-African Parliament. Ngihlala eSandton, uDudu uhlala eSandton. She can't come and see me in a hotel. Like ngiyalandelwa, ama-minion angazaqasho bani, angithatha isithombe noDudu, they post them all over, and they say against that a photo that mina noDudu we were planning ukubhukuqa MK. I'm just like, yeah, uDudu nimxoshile. I mean, what does it make now? Ekukemuru ngoba nabo kukemuru siyabahlekisa. I mean, umncwabo kabhota wa-attend uPresident Thabo Mbeki eParliament siyababulisa belungihleke nabo sibahage. Now I don't understand, nasibona uDudu singabantu abamnyama fanele siboneni isitha sikhafule. Doesn't make sense to me. Must we spit on the ground when we see her?
So, are you challenging or accepting this decision?
Well, I think my legal team will advise what I do, but I think I must state the fact that kutiwa I brought Umkhonto into disrepute. I think if anything, my character has been brought into disrepute through this process. Ngoba insambatheka ngempela, I'll say it again. I don't know what is going on. But what I like also is that the truth has an ability to come out in whatever way. There is no way the truth stays under the bed forever. The lie does not stand the test of time. The truth does come out.
All right, let's see then what happens. We've reached out to the party and they're referring us to their statement, but let's see then if they will then be able to just take an interview to respond to some of what you've said. But appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. In the meantime, I'm just enjoying to be in the company of like-minded Afrocentrists and Pan-Africanists. We are looking at sovereign debt. And from here, I'm going to Uganda, where I'm being given an award by an organization I do not even know. So, no, I am just staying in the moment for now. Ngiyabonga, and thank you for the time.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us, Dr. Khanyisile Litchfield-Tshabalala from the MK Party. Again, to mention, we did reach out to the MK Party. They're pointing us to the statement, but we'll continue to try and just get to understand exactly what's happening here. You heard for yourself on that front.